It's not news that President Bola Tinubu has reshuffled his 45-man cabinet, naming 7 new ministers, sacking 5, and reassigning 10 others to new portfolios. Well, this was announced on Wednesday. That was yesterday evening. The ministers of Finance, Defense, National Planning, and other major energy ministers all retained their positions. Nigerians have gone wild with this information, some asking why those who were sacked were indeed sacked, while others happy that for the first time in 8 years, we are seeing a president rejig his cabinet, especially after the past administration did not do such, even when it seemed like such ministries weren't functioning. Why do you think those who suffered the sack were sacked? Those new ones, there were names that were mentioned in the course of the program, would also mention those names and try to analyze if they are worthy or not, considering their portfolios. We'll have so much to discuss on the show, but we're going for a short break. When we return, we'll get into the crux of the matter. My guest is seated, so we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that short break. Like I said, we are discussing President Tinubu's rejigging his cabinet. How do you see that? Those who were affected, should they be affected? Weren't they active? What is the standard of or gauge used to remove, reassign, and reintroduce ministries? Interesting conversation. In the studio to discuss all of this is Raymond, is Ifeanyi Raymond Ofodu. He is a regular here. He's our women and children advocate, a strong one at that. He's also the founder Raymond Group. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you so much, my friend.
And so good to see you. Welcome back from South Korea.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's good to have you back.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, let's just go to, first of all, what you thought about when you saw that news yesterday evening. I mean, I was screaming.
Oh my God.
When you saw that news that the president had rejigged his cabinet. And unfortunately, the Ministry of Women Affairs, where you work, as to the minister, you were affected. Yes,
to be honest, I will start by saying it is what it is. It's very sad that, as a former aide to the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Barrister Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, I feel so sad because if you know the plans and the roadmap, the guidelines, the restructuring, most importantly, the restructuring that we have put in place to bring women affairs to the map of relevant ministries in Nigeria, you will know that we did so well. And I will be honest with you, when it comes to issues of gender, right, it's something that even in global affairs is something that people have always been advocating to give it the right priority, to give it the right attention. And the person that brought that right attention and the right priority to it was Barrister Uju Kennedy Ohaneye. Because when you look at it, since that minister came, women affairs,
exactly,
women everywhere. So I feel that we really did so well. And I must say congratulations to us, the team, and to the Honorable Minister, because I must tell you that we have started something great for the Ministry of Women Affairs. We have started something great for Nigerian women, Nigerian children, because I'm a child protection specialist, and I value social justice, and when it comes to gender equity and gender justice. So it is important for Nigerians to note that we have continued the fight. We have set the mark for the next predecessor. And I believe that we'll see the momentum continue as we move forward.
For a president who places himself, or rather keeps talking about a renewed hope agenda, And if you had this map, what could have gone wrong? Because is it political? Did she step on the wrong foot? What could possibly have gone wrong? Because I mean, she just there was just an event at the banquet hall that I saw, and it seems like
we launched the Empower Her initiative,
yes,
which is one of the biggest projects the ministry is looking at owning by itself, because we did a public and private partnership to see that project come to success. Right. To be honest with you, to your question, I can't really tell because I'm not the president, right? Okay. And I always tell people I'm not a politician, I'm a technocrat. I deal with facts. The president might have his reasons, the team might have their reasons, but I believe that whatever it might have been, the Nigerians, the country have seen the impact we have made. A lot of people, you know, when you go to social media, there's a lot of, you know, people saying a lot of support, people saying why take her away. At the other hand, a lot of people are trying to justify, saying, you know, that we have petitions, that we try to sue UN, we try to sue.
Right, there was that. Actually, there was that.
There was a lot of controversies around the office, but this is something that we need to address. It is very important for Nigerians to note that every single step that was taken by the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs was for the betterment of Nigerian women and children. She came into office, she saw the loopholes, she saw the decay in the system, and she took it upon herself to fix it up. That takes a lot of courage. You must step on a lot of people's toes when you want to make something right. We know the case of Dangote. It's still ongoing. So that is the conversation, and that is the world we live in Nigeria. And I believe that the president might have his good reasons. The president is the president, he's the commander-in-chief, and we respect his decisions. We just want the legacy to continue. We want to see.
We'll get to the legacy. But while there are a lot of people who are encouraging her, who are also wondering, I had conversations with some women who said we're going to the street to call government's attention to this misnomer. This is one person you must not remove. Where I'm hearing that. Also, there are videos that went viral of staff of the ministry rejoicing at the announcement of her removal. Did that also shock you? Because I mean, I work with her a lot. When I come to the offices and she's coming, you see a lot of yes, ma'am.
I wanted to tell you that you should be very careful when it comes to dealing with human beings. And when I saw that video of staffs rejoicing, apparently I was also in the office. I was upstairs. I was hearing screams. I looked through the mirror. I was like, what is happening? You know, staffs were rejoicing. They were screaming. Then somebody just said, this shows you that something actually real was going on. Right. This shows you that a disciplinarian, someone who was not ready for the cock and bull story
of Nigerian civil servants.
You understand? So people are not comfortable with people that tax them to work. If you see someone that, even in household, that particular encouragement by your parents, the constant scolding, you should do well, you should do good. Whenever your father is not, you balance. Because you don't want to keep being reminded to do the right thing. So I think that was the situation. And when you come to the affairs of Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, you see that the minister really tried her best to kind of make the civil servants see the relevance of their office, see the importance of being someone that should be representing children and the vulnerable. And when it comes to the vulnerable, they are helpless. So you as a staff have the absolute responsibility to bring life to your office. And I must tell you, I was quite disappointed when I saw them rejoicing like that. But what are you going to do?
Right.
Humans will always be humans.
That's
Humans
true.
will beat you, bite you at the back. And people were criticizing them on social media. And was
I
saying
saw that as well.
that this is so obvious that something right was going on in this ministry. So I think to them, they might feel, oh, our burden has gone, or somebody that limited them to do something has gone. But it's when you lose something valuable to you that you know the worth of what you have lost.
Right.
When you lose something that is so precious, that's something that is good for you, but you might feel that this person is disciplining, like is trying to make you sit up and set things right. That is when you lose the person and things keep going the way it is and no improvements, no progress. Then where are we really heading to in this country?
Well, some of us in the media and in women advocacy worked closely with that office. And one thing you can always give to the Minister of Women, the just removed Minister of Women Affairs, is, except she does not hear about a woman in trouble, you see her in that place, no matter where it is in the country. You see her appear there and try to solve it. But in your work, in spite of this roadmap and all she has done, in retrospect, what would you have suggested that she changed, just so that she balances it?
She balances it, right?
I don't know how else.
I'm telling you.
How else to phrase it?
To be honest with you, I will start by saying you can never please anyone.
Right.
In life,
that's for sure.
No matter how hard you try, you can never please anybody. I felt that Nigerians, especially the staffs of the ministry, and probably some stakeholders were not really ready for the change. So the change really came quick and fast at them.
And she was fighting.
Yes, there was a real fire. And because it's coming from a heart with so much passion and dedication, so much eagerness to make a difference. The Honorable Minister is one wonderful woman that working closely with her, I realized how dedicated she is to the service of making sure that Nigerian women are better. And I must tell you, what I would have thought we would have done better was take it slowly, which Nigerians would have wanted us to take it slowly, but there was no time. The president have instructed, you must show your difference, you must make a difference. So, but I felt that maybe if we would have taken it slowly, stakeholders would have been able to adjust to the new system. People would have been able to understand the vision, the passion, because this is a minister that came to office and asked them, why do you keep spending 100 million, 200 million naira on hosting irrelevant meetings that you can say, okay, let us cut this money into two.
Wow.
Let us use 50 million. Empower, even if it's 100 widows or 100 women, sustainable empowerment. They use the other 50 host stakeholders together and show them what you have done. That makes more sense than lavishing money on irrelevant conversations that will not yield any fruit. So I think she was trying to give the country and the Ministry of Women Affairs a directive, an approach to understand that you have to change the narrative to be able to understand. And she's someone that is coming from the private sector, so she understands how to,
of course, you want it done, you get it done.
So why do we keep on beating around the bush? So she couldn't understand that aspect of the civil system and the bureaucracies involved. It's a lot of process, and I believe that Nigerians now get to understand where she was coming from, and Nigerians get to understand what we have been fighting for. We have been fighting for the right things to be done. Women deserve to be employed. Women deserve to have a source of income. Women deserve to have a voice. So these are the core values that you must do and you must step on toes to achieve if you really want to move forward.
What's your biggest fear or concerns? Let me not use, what are your biggest concerns, considering you so much has been put into this roadmap you talked about, and she had set a standard where she was already getting a lot of staff, civil servants to adjust. What's your biggest concern moving forward for the women in Nigeria, not just that office?
I think it's the women's security and access to justice for women. That's my biggest fear and concern, because in the ministry we have helped a lot of women, we have saved a lot of women, we have brought a lot of women out of the darkness, and I know that those people that you hurt, or those people that you had to stop to save a woman, will definitely come back. They will definitely feel offended. So is there any secured system ready to fight for these women? Is there any dedicated authority that is ready to make sure that any vindicated woman is not attacked again? The mobile court that the minister pushed for, what is going to be the fate? Would the government ensure that this comes to life and functions? Because we need access to justice for a lot of women and children. If I tell you the heartbreaking stories that we receive daily in the ministry, it's so sad that you wonder how bad and decayed humanity is. Humanity, when it comes to women and children, oh God, the atrocities, the evil man do to another. It's so sad, my sister.
And you know, I'm sure we had been talking about the situation of the Nigerian women, the situation of the African women, but you saw it
first hand. I was literally,
having to walk in all of that. Okay, well, let's just go for a short break. There's still so much to discuss. When we return, we'll be talking about this cabinet that has been rejigged, the consequences or implication of it, should Nigerians, begin to do more in ensuring accountability and transparency, so that we see firsthand what is really going on and push for what we want. We'll be right back to discuss more. Welcome back from that. One of the aspects or components of this rejigging that the president did is that his cabinet remains the biggest cabinet from other presidents. President Muhammad Buhari had 43 members in his second term in office, despite calls from critics. And if we are serious about cutting cost of governance, is this the way to go? Introducing 10 more ministries, 7 more ministers. Now we have the Ministry of Livestock. Meanwhile, that a lot of people believe should be just a department in the Ministry of Agriculture, so that there will not be overlapping duties. So much to discuss. We still have in the studio Ifeanyi, Raymond, Ofodu right here in the studio, founder Raymond Group. He is also a woman and child rights advocate. Again, I thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so is this one move that you also criticized? We had thought the president was cutting cost of governance. Nigerians have not seen it this bad when it comes to the inflation, the purchasing power of an average Nigeria is almost nothing. The pressures on our naira, it's making it even worse. But here we are having a president introduce 7 new ministries. How did you take that?
To be honest with you, I believe that every action that the president is taking is for the good of the nation. I'm happy you believe that. Yes. And that's what every president will do. No president will take any action to kill the people. But you know, the problem there is the implementation, right? The way these actions are translated to affect the poor man at the grassroots level, at the poor man that doesn't know that you have created these ministries, is when they see the actions that they'll be like, oh, is this on or not? So per se, they are not entirely 7 new ministries. It was just 7 new ministers. We have just few new ministries. which is the livestock. Then they merged creative and tourism.
And then
sports,
now.
yes, is now regional. So I think that was a smart move, and it's a move to make actions more harmonized, streamline actions, and help the ministers, the people in power, the authorities to better coordinate this policy implementations. Because let me be honest with you, Nigeria is in a very terrible state now. I'll use the word terrible because, yes, people are suffering, people are crying, people are desperate for hope. And if you don't give people that, there's going to be chaos.
Exactly.
So we have to divert chaos. We have to disembark chaos. And how do we do that? Is by preferring solutions. So I believe that the presidency, me, myself, everybody, or the authorities have to take a step back forward, check what have we done so far, what have we gotten right, what have we gotten wrong, what do we really need to check, how do we really need to put this in order, so that these ministries that have been put together, these ministries that are already existing, because there are some ministries that some people have never heard of.
Exactly.
You know, so that's why I told you that the Minister of Women Affairs actually brought
that attention
yes.
to
so let us now look at, let's start checking each ministry. What are you really doing? How is your actions affecting the poor man at the grassroots level? Once you don't answer that question, then you have no reason to be there. That ministry has no reason to exist. So I think this needs strategical thinking. That's why we need smart people to be behind the papers. We need smart people to think logically, because Nigerians are really suffering. So we need to help Nigeria.
Of course, we really need to help Nigerians at the moment. Yes. But when you look at the portfolios of those coming in, does it give you confidence that the president has made the right choice? Yes. Again, with politicians, you never know.
You never know. So it's when they start work now. Let's see, because it's not an easy one, right? So it's when the process starts. Let's see who is more competent or not. Let's see who is more dedicated or not. Let's see who is going to actually understand the assignments given. I think people that are there so far are good. We have the likes of Bianca.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Which is a seasoned diplomat, and she's quite very good at what she does when it comes to international relations, because I'm someone from that field and I understand how you need to position yourself and the country for you to get proper international attention.
Exactly.
So I think she's in a critical situation, and I know that she can deliver. We have some other notable, remarkable individuals. So I will not move fast to say you can do it, you cannot do it.
Right.
Let us give few months and see, because I've been in that situation. I've worked with my minister, and to tell you, we have to put our back in it. You know, this popular social media, Charlie, put your back in it. We have to put our back in it. So it's not an easy ride, but let's see how it goes.
Okay, so from the gender aspect of it, were you also concerned that we had 3 women removed and only 3 in 7 ministries replaced? Wouldn't you have wanted more? I know that's another conversation that has been rife around the gender. We need more women representation so that it would be relatable to a lot of sufferings that Nigerian women face. It would also give a facelift to leadership, mentorship, and all of that. But did it also concern you?
Yeah, to an extent it did, because I keep asking myself, is that we don't have competent women to take up these positions and to handle this particular section. It is something that I think we are gradually learning. We are gradually understanding how it works, the affirmative action, Nigerian is gradually adapting to understand that gender equality is a must and not something to be considered, but it's something that has to happen. So to me, I think we can say, okay, this is what we have gotten.
Right.
Let's work with what we have gotten. Let's know if tomorrow will improve and do better. At least the number of women has increased more than other previous administrations. And it's
you mean in the cabinet?
Yes,
because it did not increase in the legislature.
Yes.
in our national assembly, it got really bad.
It's so poor this time around, and
right.
it's really a bad thing.
Less than
10%. I think we have only 7 women in the Senate, if I'm not mistaken, or total. I think total, both Senate and Rep.
Total, I think, in the legislative.
It's quite very poor. It's very, very poor, and when you see those women in those positions, you really have to encourage them. Like the likes of Barrister Kennedy or Hanayan, who fought for women's voices to be heard. These are the kind of examples that we need other female leaders to pick up and ensure that women representation is a priority in this country. We're a signatory to Beijing 30 plus.
Of course.
We go to march. Match for the UN Women, yes, the CSW. So we have to actually put our mouth into where our pocket is. We have to put our actions should align with what we're implementing. So I think this administration is ready to listen to the cries of Nigerians, and let's see if improvement will start on from today, because the country is a little bit shocked. Let's see how it goes.
Let's talk about citizens' participation in ensuring transparency, accountability, and work.
Yes.
Because very often we meet, I have conversations with young people a lot who are so overwhelmed. They're like, you know what, whatever happens at this point, I really do not want to get involved. But how can we encourage more citizen participation so that it doesn't come as a shock when a minister is removed? Let us know what the renewed hope agenda is. Let us know when this person is falling in line, when this person is going against it. Let us hold this person to ensure that in your ministry you are indeed working.
Yes. And to answer that question, I must highlight the role of social media in our modern age right now. Social media is a tool that somebody from which country will I call now, even if it's from Australia, can be an active citizen in Nigeria, voicing out their opinions, commenting their opinions, even making videos to share their opinions regarding the nature and the affairs of the country. So social media has made it easy. Mainstream media has also made it easy for citizens to be able to see what is happening, for citizens to be able to understand the translation that the government is trying to express and trying to pass down to the people. So when you look at it, you realize that when it comes to citizens' engagement, it's a major priority, because the government works with citizenship, and there is no government that will work blindly against what the citizens want. So if you don't understand what the citizens want, if you cannot translate what the citizens want into action, then there is going to be a bit of confusion. So I think the government should drive more means and avenues to come closer to the people. The president has his essays, which are major. These essays are the most important employees of the president, because they are the ones that translate what the president wants, the president's vision, to the people. They are the ones that are closer to the president and also closer to the people. So there are essays on citizen engagement, there are essays on community engagement. Let them intensify and renovate their approaches, their strategies, to better ensure that the voices of the vulnerable, the voices of the people at the grassroots level are reflected in everyday activity of the government. And we need to work with evidence. People understand evidence. People understand this is true. I have seen it. I am a witness who will come and see you. When people talk about sending money, sending alert, you will not tell an hungry man that you sent him money.
He would already to reflect.
He will bite you.
Exactly.
So you have to give evidence.
Yes.
You have to show results. you have to show impact. You have to measure your actions, back your actions up with evidence and impact. So I think this is something that must be made a priority when it comes to government engagement with citizens and how government wants to move forward if you want to really progress. Yes.
Do you think the president made clear his vision for his cabinet members? Something they could that could have been a guide so that everyone coming in is not walking blind with personal agendas and all that?
Yes, you know, the president did actually. He said it from day one. This is renewed hope, not business as usual. This is the time for action. Right. Let us bring Nigeria back. Let us make Nigeria great. But the only problem is there is limited time given to the ministers to actually prove themselves and limited resources. This is something that people ignore, but is actually one of the major problems some ministers might be facing, because in some ministries there's not adequate resources.
Oh, really?
Yes, to actually carry out like women affairs. We rarely saw resources to work with. It was a tussle to get funding to work with. So these are the issues, these are the impediments, you know, to working and getting your stuff delivered. So it's very important that the president translated his actions, the president translated his visions, and I think the ministers understood it well. That was why when the Minister of Women Affairs came out, she said, the president told us to think outside the box.
Right.
So she thought outside the box. She was innovative with her office. So was other ministers. We have ministers like Wike, people that people believe that are thinking outside the box to make a change. We have a minister like Ayo Dele. I think it's Ayo Dele, right? The Minister of Youth. He's doing so well. You know, so these are ministers that understood the president's translation, vision, and are translating it into actions in their own ministries, regardless of limited resources. So I think this is something that the president must keep reiterating into his cabinet. He must keep reminding them through Hadiza, the policy coordinator. The president needs to constantly remind the ministers that this is your task, this is what you're expected to do, and always have the retreat formula where you call regularly, apart from the FEC, call your ministers, interact, understand the challenges they are facing, understand what needs to be done, and know how best you as a president can help get it done.
A lot of people have said also, I heard that conversation, I don't know if it's something whispers you two have heard, that just maybe the president, especially with what you have said, Barrister Ohaneye was really active. She thought out of the box.
Active.
She was active. That's
Very
one thing
active.
You cannot take from her.
No.
You cannot take that
back. Even if you're in the hole.
you hear her voice. So she was really active, and which is why it took a lot of people unawares by shock and all of that. However, would you say there is more the president has for individuals like her who have proven themselves, maybe something bigger than Ministry of Women Affairs, maybe an international?
I think that's what we are for the minister.
So I've actually been hearing that, oh no, probably this is just, this is not some sort of sack out of the complete, you know, maybe cabinet, there's an ambassadorial
positions. Yes.
Have you heard that too, or it's just me?
Probably the same way you have heard rumors. But I will say, I think, I don't really know. I can't confirm anything.
But have you heard the rumors? Though?
Yes, I've heard the rumors, and I must assure you that the rumors, even if it's true, it's well deserving, and it's well befitting of the minister. The minister needs to be taken to another level, greater than the ministry, greater than being a minister. Because when she came out to be a president. That's true. Yes, she came out to be a president.
For a moment, just imagine her a president.
Yes, this country is There's going to be
for a moment, she probably will sack some embassies in this country. You come here, you go me out. You're out of my country.
If you're here to steal our money,
get out of our country.
We'll show you the door. If you're here to waste our loans, you know, this loan issue is something that the minister really was really not so happy with, because when you look at the loan structure and the loan system in this country, it's really saddening that sometimes loans are not used
for the
properly
infrastructure development.
You use loans to make money to pay back the loan. You don't use loan to consume or to waste.
Right.
You use loans to bring out tangible results so that your results can pay back your loan. So these are the things that the minister was, you know, really advocating for and really looking at ensuring that she restructures. So I think she really did a great job. She did so well, and I think taking her off from this ministry shows that she's ready for the next level.
Okay.
I don't know what that next level will be. It can be an ambassadorial role. It can be even the vice president. It can be the next president to come. It can be whatever. But I think she's geared towards a powerful position, and she's even geared towards something great. She can even be the next governor of Anambra State.
I mean, why not?
Who knows? So there's limitless potentials for the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs. And I must tell you this: Anambra people, Igbo people, Nigerian people, all tribes of people have seen who Barrister Uju Ohanenye is. They have seen her vision. They have seen the representation that she wants to bring to the table. They have seen her values and core principles. So when she comes out tomorrow and say, do this, vote for me.
I mean, you have gauged her popularity. If you say so, then...
Yes. So everybody knows her name now. So if you truly know that she made an impact, tomorrow when she comes out, you'll support her.
But she didn't as much as, I mean, if we have to go back in her history, she didn't, in my thoughts, put up that fight. It seems like she saw superior candidates and just dropped her cap immediately. You know, from that podium, she did not even, she was like, you know what?
You know,
let's give it to Bola Tinubu.
You know, I think in this situation, I will tell you that she made a wise decision at that point, right? Because she was still new into the game. She needed to properly understand and also align properly with the right framework and values. So she giving to the president during the time of primaries, to her was her best move, because she had her reasons to do that, and I think it was a great move also, because in this case the greater powerful candidate at that point was the president, President Bola Tinubu. So it is good and it is important that we note that she's a woman that is fearless, she's a woman that is dedicated, she's a lioness, and she's ready to take Nigerian women to see the moon and the star.
I know that. I know that. I met her in New York. It was, we had a word. I mean, you saw pictures.
Yes. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, if there's such a place to humble you, it is during the UNNGA. the UNGA rather. It's quite humbling.
The General Assembly.
Yes, and it was exciting to hear her talk about these plans that she has coming back from the Pact of the Future, the Declaration of Future Youth, and all of that. And after all of that, see that this has happened. If you have to, exactly.
It's very sad.
Now, if you have to talk to Nigerian women, especially, and Nigerians who are really saddened by this, some of whom are even planning a protest. I heard that as well.
Again?
I heard that as well. I heard a lot of women who say, you know what, we're going to the streets to get government attention to this. We find it a misnomer. We do not agree with this. But for you, and if you have to address them here and now, what would your thoughts be?
Yeah, to me, I will also join the protests to bring back
I know you will. I mean, you were eating, you were eating from the pot, so it's only natural. It's only natural.
There was nothing there to eat, but we were working. We were so dedicated. We really put our all into that role, into that job. I would say basically that, to be honest with you, I will join that protest and tell the president, beckon on the president to bring Barrister Kennedy back and show her that she is what his nomination and appointment. She really put her dedication and values to this, and Nigerian women value her contribution to the country. And I must tell you, the impact and the mark we have made in Federal Ministry of Women Affairs
will be tough to beat.
It will be very tough. I want to see who will match it. How many people knew about Women Affairs till we came in? So let us see. Let us see what the ministry is going to be turned into. Let us see if the legacies will continue. Let us see the impact that we are trying to make the world see that the ministry can create. We wanted to make the ministry a revenue generating ministry.
That also got a lot of criticism, because if it is going to be revenue generating, how are you going to tax Nigerian women again?
No, that's the point. You don't need to tax Nigerian women to become a revenue generating ministry. All you have to do is to create an avenue for the ministry to produce and make income for Nigerian women, championed and run by women. The ministry can set up business ventures, investments that the women can be part of, and at the return is pulling in a lot of resources for the government. So this is a woman with vision. So I believe that the next minister, Honorable Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, I believe that she's someone with principle, and I think she will build on the legacy of Barrister Regig and ensure that the Ministry of Women Affairs is one of the best ministries when it comes to performance and impact in the country. I
must thank you for being part of the program, and thank you for your thoughts on what's going on. It's exciting to know that you have this positive vibe going on.
Yes,
it's exciting. I mean, some of us, when we saw it, our heads were rolling like, oh my goodness, this isn't happening.
We move to the next stage. We move to things bigger. We move to building our nation, because all of us have a real long journey ahead of us. So we have to put our back in it again. We have to put our focus in making Nigeria better. And this is our only home.
We all have to do that. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi Raymond.
Thank you so much.
It's always wonderful to have this conversation. And you know, when we're talking about the Nigerian women, we could go on and on.
It's endless.
It's endless because...
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for coming. But this is it for Joy Asanye Live today. We'll be back tomorrow with so much more. Do have a wonderful evening, and I hope you enjoyed our conversation talking about the president rejigging the cabinet. Have a wonderful evening.